This video is sponsored by Epidemic Sound. Video editing is something you're going to have to learn and eventually master if you want to be a successful content creator. But when you're just getting started, it can be really intimidating to know how to use professional video editing software. So today I'm going to talk about the 6 best video editors for beginners. And I will be covering ones for both desktop, mobile, Mac, PC, Android, and iOS. So a little something for everybody. If you use Linux, sorry, you're kind of screwed here. Let's start with something free that you might already have access to. If you have an Apple device, including an iPhone, then you have access to iMovie. And while iMovie is not the best software out there, it is free for Apple users and it is available to you. And there are still many top-tier content creators who use it. It will also prepare you in the future to move to something a little bit more robust like Final Cut Pro, since it's still in the Apple ecosystem. And moving from iMovie to Final Cut Pro is actually pretty easy. And the best part about Final Cut Pro is you would own the software outright once you buy it for $300, and it does have a free trial. So when you want to transition, that's something that you're able to do. Next is an option that's available for both Mac and PC, and that's Filmora. Filmora is easy to learn and to edit, and it's very affordable. This software is often on special, so it can come in under $100 and has a lot of built-in features and templates. It's something that if I was a beginner and I needed something that was extremely affordable but could be competitive with pro software like Final Cut Pro or even Adobe Premiere Pro for at least most of the features I need, 80% of what you could possibly do is going to be available to you, and it's pretty affordable, pretty cheap to get. I do prefer professional video editing software, but even when I was a beginner, I wanted to pay that extra money just to have access to everything I possibly could at my disposal to be competitive, and I wanted to learn basically how to do it the hard way and get it over with. So for me, the thing I had to do when I was extremely young, when I was a teenager, back in my day when I was a teenager, there wasn't a lot of open source software, but whatever was available is what I would use and take advantage of. And once I got access through school and then through work to higher levels of software, that's all I really ever wanted to use. It was like no going back for me. So, you start where you can, you work with what you have, but once you can afford it, you're gonna want the extra features. Speaking of something that has a ton of features, but is free to use and is not only on Mac and PC, but also on iOS and Android, Adobe Rush. If I was starting from zero all over again as a content creator, this would be what I would be using every single day to get my edits done. The best part about Adobe Rush is even though it's free, it does have multiple video tracks and multiple audio tracks and has built-in motion graphics. It does even have the ability to help you clean up your audio a little bit. So this is probably what I think might be the best software for beginners, if I'm being honest, just from a feature standpoint. And the fact that it's compatible across all devices and it syncs through the cloud so that you can actually pick up where you left off. If you start on one device, you can pick up where you left off on another when you log in. So that's something that most of these tools do not have. And it's another reason I favor Adobe. It's compatible on my Mac and PC stuff, and I have the ability to share assets through the cloud and just log in. So that's why I'm an Adobe guy. But no matter which video editing software you use, you're gonna want background music and sound effects, which leads to today's sponsor, Epidemic Sound. One of the things that new content creators struggle with the most is trying to find copyright-free assets for their videos. The last thing you want as a new content creator is copyright claims and copyright strikes giving you an anxiety attack. And that's where Epidemic Sound comes in clutch with a ridiculously large library of copyright-free music and sound effects. You guys know that I've made over 1,000 videos on YouTube, and hundreds upon hundreds of them are using music and sound effects from Epidemic Sound. It's hassle-free, easy to use, and with my link in the description down below, you can get yourself a free trial and find out for yourself. Thanks again to Epidemic Sound for sponsoring today's video and my series on video editing. Next up, we have Camtasia. Now, a lot of you probably won't see Camtasia in a list like this because it's primarily known for screen recording and screen capture, but it has a ton of great features, even just as an editor, and you can simultaneously capture video from your camera while you're doing screen recording, meaning that if you're a tutorial content creator or maybe even a reaction channel, this might make your workflow a lot simpler and cut the time in half. So I think that this is something you could take advantage of, and it might be all you need as a content creator when it comes to your editing software. I actually use this when I want to do screen recording and tutorials, and it does come out a lot cleaner than me just using QuickTime when I'm on my Apple devices. At the end of the day, it just works, and I couldn't be happier with it. Next, we have Videoleap. Videoleap is both on iOS and Android, and it's probably known the most for its special effects and how easy it is to use. Videoleap is something I've played with just a little bit. I've been experimenting a lot more with things like YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels, and even the dreaded TikTok. And so there is a need to have a robust video editing app for your mobile device that can do a lot of different things. I would actually love to see a desktop version of this, but it's pretty much a mobile-only app for now. But for many of you, as beginners, this is actually a very good place to start, and it is very easy to learn. There's also a lot of tutorials on YouTube about this particular app. Before we get to number 6, I do want to throw in some honorable mentions here. Davinci Resolve is a very powerful option, and it is free, which is where a lot of beginners will want to pick it up. But it is not the easiest thing in the world to learn, and it has a lot of robust features that are competitive with Adobe Premiere Pro and Final Cut Pro, but it's pretty complicated, and there's not nearly as many tutorials on Davinci Resolve as there are on the other two. But there are some great ones out there if you want to pick it up, and you have the option to upgrade to the paid version and get even more features, and only be about $300. So Davinci Resolve is something that I did want to throw out there. Another great tool is LumaFusion, but it is iOS only, but this one comes in really clutch. I would say that the best way to edit with LumaFusion is to use an iPad or iPad mini. You can obviously still use it on your phone, but I think it's actually better suited to tablets if I'm being honest. And it does have multi-track editing. It is, I think, $30 or less, so it's actually very powerful for the price, and I would put it on par with $100 video editing software any day of the week. Just remember, it is only limited to iOS. If you are an Android user, that's where Adobe Rush is really going to come in clutch, since it works on Mac, PC, iOS, and Android. It's the most accessible option at the end of the day. And then an honorable mention to StreamYard. While not quite a video editing app, it is a video tool because many of you are realizing that you want to do live streaming, and this one actually is very easy to use, and it's browser based, which means you can use it on any device because it's in your web browser. And when you want to bring guests into your live stream, all you have to do is send them a link, and they don't have to download anything. So for interviews, podcasts, and collabs, this is going to be great for you. There is a free version. It'll be linked in the description down below. Everything I mentioned will be linked in the description down below. And if you use some of those things, they might be affiliate links. So finally, the last software that we're going to talk about is CapCut. If you are in Instagram Reels and TikTok, this is extremely popular. I've even known a bunch of YouTube Shorts content creators to use this as well, but it's mostly known for being the most popular current app in the TikTok community, but of course that applies to Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts as well. I've been toying around with this one myself as I get into more short form content. I've also been asking a lot of other content creators what they think about this, since I am planning a video around mobile video editing and options for your Android and iOS devices. So you want to be on the lookout for that one. But any of these tools should serve you if you're a beginner in video editing. My best advice is to first start with your budget, then start with your your ecosystem. Do you prefer to edit on desktop or on mobile devices? And from there, I would say look at what kind of content you're trying to make. There are some tools that are better suited to one thing versus another. iMovie is extremely limited. It's only here because you probably already have it. If it wasn't for that, it wouldn't make the list. I feel the best options that are on this list at all are Adobe Rush, LumaFusion, and in terms of, a middle ground option, Filmora. Those are probably the three that I would stick with. If you enjoyed this video, I have another one you should watch that can help you be a faster video editor no matter what software you're using. That will be linked down in the description below, as well as my playlist on becoming a better video editor. As always, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget, go out there and create something awesome today. Take care.